Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Trent. This is Rams Talk. Welcome to Rams Victory Sunday with a 34-24 victory over the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm just emotions are running high right now. But that was a statement game from the LA Rams, from Matt Stafford, for Sean McVay, from that defense, from the fans from Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. I mean, this is actually, I've heard it. I haven't been there, so if anyone watching this on replay has went to this game, let me know what the vibe was like in there. But it's like a home field advantage. This is just great stuff. I see a bunch of people already in the chat. I think people are really stoked about this. I see Bill, I see Biozio, Anderson, Masanori, Dominic, Matt Gates is a pedophile. Grant Bishop, DXness. I see you all the time. I just don't know how to pronounce it. Blake Harris, Big Sauce, Lizard Man, Fastix. How you guys feeling? I know everyone is super pumped, but I mean, that was what we thought this team would be with Matthew Stafford. This is exactly what we thought this team would be with Matthew Stafford. This is why we got Matthew Stafford, to win games like this. And for everyone now, I think what this game does more than anything, more than just the standings and the records and everything, but it's this: can Matthew Stafford play in a big game? Can he step up to the moment? I mean, I feel sometimes I don't talk about Matthew Stafford as much, just because everyone talks about Matthew Stafford all the time. But this was the Matthew Stafford game. And other than like the first two drive and a half, where he was shaky, he had some guys open, he wasn't connecting. But once he started connecting some completions together, it was that's what we got Matthew Stafford for. And I also want to give a mad shout out to the offensive line, right? I mean, the Bucs defense is vaunted, right? Especially their front seven. I mean, I know they didn't have JPP in there, and that does account for something, but the offensive line, other than Stafford getting sacked late in the game, I mean, he was pretty clean. I mean, there was some pressure. They were bringing blitzes, but big shout out to the offensive line. I think they played a great game. And then also the defense. I'm just kind of getting some top level bullet points here. But then the defense, I mean, yeah, it was 34-24, but that touchdown at the end was garbage time touchdown. Yes. I think they gave up 24 points last year too, right? So same deal, except for last year Brady had the ball, was driving down to potentially win the game at the end. This time he drove down the field. It didn't really mean anything. But the Rams were in control of this game. The Rams owned this game. They were in control from beginning to end. The Rams. I mean, the Rams beat up the Bucs. Now, Bucs fans, if you're watching, nothing personal, but the Rams just beat you up. And by the way, anyone who's watching this on replay, please leave a comment there. But I mean, I know everyone in the chat right now is super stoked. The O-line races. The O-line has been incredible. Matt Stafford for MVP. I mean, Matthew, here's the thing, especially when who's their cornerback that went out. I'm losing his name right now. Jamel Dean. When he went out, I was just like, just bombs all day. Just throw it deep every time. And then he did and connected with Desean Jackson. And it was just kind of like their secondary, the Bucs secondary, is an Achilles heel. That's what they should have attacked. I was saying before the game, attack the secondary, right? Because the run defense is pretty good. However, Sony Michel, a quick shout out to Sony Michel, 20 rushes for 67 yards. Now, I know it's just 3.4 yards per carry, but, the Rams got 76 yards on the ground, and you're not going to see that. It's not going to show up so much because there was the minus 2 yards from Matthew Stafford for getting sacked. But yeah, 76 yards on the ground for the Rams against that defense. I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. Conversely, their running backs, Rojo and Fournette, only 35 yards. In fact, their Chris Godwin scored a touchdown for them, a rushing touchdown. And I want to say Brady finally got on the board with one touchdown to Gio Bernard. But I mean, that was just all around. The Rams showed up, and I mean, we can sit here and talk about, and I do get picky with the fact that the Rams, it'll be third and 10, and they give them like 15-yard cushions, and it just seems so oftentimes, those cushions were given. But would you rather consistently give up some intermediate passes, or would you want to get burned like they did with Desean Jackson? And so, that's just 7 points right there. So, I'm just for Matthew Stafford, I think for him, what this will do is this will, I mean, I'm sure he's already a confident guy, but this will just give him so much confidence of, hey, I just played in, aside from a playoff game with the Lions, most likely the biggest game of his career, against Tom Brady, against the defending Super Bowl champions in LA, and whooped him and played exceptionally well. So, Stafford is going to grow from this. The Rams playbook was great. Desean Jackson finally got integrated into the game. I'm looking at the box score now. He threw for 343 and 4 touchdowns with a passer rating of 134. Compared to Tom Brady, he threw for a lot of yards, 432 with 1 touchdown and a passer rating of 103. So, you know, uh, I knew going into this game this was going to be one in the air, and it was. And other than being a little shaky at the beginning, Matthew Stafford really, really turned it around. And I mean, he was just picking on that Bucs secondary. Now, if I'm the Bucs after this game, I'm like, okay, how much is it going to cost to sign Richard Sherman or somebody? Because they lost Sean Murphy Bunting, they lost Jamel Dean. I mean, it's slim pickings in their back end. And then if the Bucs don't upgrade their secondary, it's going to be like this. Whenever they play a good team, they play Seattle. I don't know about San Francisco, but they play any good team with a good quarterback, good receivers, it's going to be tough. Now, also the offensive line opening holes for Sony Michel, protecting Matthew Stafford. I really like when Jake Funk started the game. I was like, that's interesting. I know some people are talking about no Tutu Atwell in this game, just returning punts, but I think that's just what we're going to get this year. This year is just going to be the Tutu Atwell returning punts, unless Desean Jackson or Van Jefferson gets injured. And then he's going to have more of a role in the offense. And I think he probably most likely will have a role in the offense as the season goes on. But I mean, there are so many mouths to feed. I mean, just look at today, Tyler Higbee, right? Tyler Higbee was the man in the first half for the Rams. I mean, he was everywhere. He was scoring touchdowns. He was catching the key conversions on third down. And this is the thing, like with the Rams, it's just other than Cooper Kupp, it's really hard to know who the second guy in each game is going to be through the air. Is it going to be Higbee? Is it going to be Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Desean Jackson? I mean, there's just so many weapons. It's great to see, and it's great the Rams get this win. Sony Michel gets some carries. Sony Michel had a really awesome pass pickup, pass rushing pickup, pass blocking, I guess you could say. And so Darrell Henderson hopefully will be back in a week or two. I mean, just the Rams got to be – I can't even imagine Sean McVay in the locker room right now just pumping everyone up. So Cooper Kupp, I mentioned him. I mean, he's just the real deal. He did have that one play, though, where I don't know what he was doing. He was getting a little too cute, like he didn't know where the first down marker is, which is kind of weird from Cooper Kupp, but heck, I'll take it. Kenny Young led the team in tackles. And, it's interesting because Kenny Young, he had a good game. He was everywhere, but it also seemed like he got beat on a couple of plays. So I think this is one of those games where, like, when you watch it with your eyes, you're like, yeah, Kenny Young, man, he was all over the place, led the team in tackles, did really well. I don't want to take anything away from him, but it's also a game I think like Pro Football Focus will look at him a little differently. I think he was, exploited a few times, but hey, that's okay. That's okay. So one of the benefits also of the Rams winning this game is now they have the tiebreaker on the Bucs. So home field advantage in the NFC. Every game is gold. You have to win every single game, especially against NFC West opponents. So I'm going to catch my breath. I'm going to go to some of the comments now and see what you guys are saying. If you get a chance, give a thumbs up to this so we can shoot this algorithm into outer space. So Animals with Horns, I like how they tried to edge rush badly with Ramsey. Yeah, Ramsey is it's very interesting. You didn't really have the tradition like last year. It was Ramsey on Mike Evans. There were all these PI calls last year, but this year, they were rotating around. I mean, and gosh, Gronk, they were. I mean, Terrell Lewis on Gronk, that hit, Gio at the end, Gio Bernard at the end, Jamel Dean. The Rams, not, a lot of teams, a lot of times in the past, people called the Rams a finesse team, when they're with Jared Goff and that offense, high flying offense of 2017, 2018, called them a finesse team. I don't think the Bucks don't think that they're a finesse team right now. Okay. The Bucks, I mean, that is ice bath central. So S Pack, let's see how good the Cardinals are next week. Yeah, that's going to be a great game, but I'm not truly sold on the Cardinals just yet. Let's see how I mean, at the end of the day, this is pretty much how I approach every game. When you think of the Cardinals, you think of Kyler Murray. And you think about trying to like Kyler Murray is playing out of his mind. He and Matt Stafford and maybe Josh Allen a little bit now. I'm trying to think who else would be vying for MVP at this early stage in the season. But um, what is the Cardinals secondary looking like? Yeah, they have Buda Baker, right? But is it going to be Isaiah Simmons show running around there? So I always look at every team. I'm like, how's their secondary? Because that's Matthew Stafford and that's our wide receivers. That is the strength. I mean, the Rams are just such a complete team. When I say that's a strength of the Rams, their defense is also amazing. I mean, we were the pass rush for the Rams, a secondary. I mean, it's just what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Ramsey, Ramsey going to match up against D Hopkins, or is they're going to move them all around? And at the end of the day, I just trust McVay over Cliff Kingsbury. And what are the Rams now? 40-0 win leading at the half under McVay. So, that just happened again. Just like clockwork. You can just expect that. So let's keep missing some of these comments here. A to the J Jizza 70. You caught glimpses of the game. It's tough to watch when you're working. Now I hear you. That sucks to work on Sundays, but someone's got to do it. But yeah, just so you know, A to the Jizza 70. The Rams pretty much they were in control of the game the whole way. The whole way. Yeah, Raul Pedroza Jr. Huge win. Extremely huge win. I mean, I was nervous. I had a lot of pacing. I was pacing pacing during this game. William Blackson, they all had catches. They did all have catches. If I'm looking at the Rams box score right now, Desean Jackson 3 for 120. Let's see here. Cooper Kupp 9 for 96 and 2 touchdowns. Van Jefferson 4 for 42. Higbee 5 for 40. Robert Woods 3 for 33. Sony Michel 3 for 12. Yeah, Sony caught a few passes, but yeah, 4 touchdowns through the air for Stafford. And let's see here. The longest one was 75 yards to Desean Jackson. But I mean, you look at all these guys. Cooper Kupp, long 22. Van Jefferson, 21. Robert Woods, 20. I mean, Matthew Stafford was pushing the ball down the field, and that's what I want to talk about. And I'm not going to speak ill of Jared Goff, but I think this just shows everybody the difference between the two. Is that it's just bombs over Baghdad with Matthew Stafford. This game was bombs over Baghdad. It was awesome. I missed that. It's exciting, right? And I think at the end of the day, you go back and look at last year, our offense was not exciting at all. It was super methodical. It was super safe. It was effective to a degree, and we won 10 games, but it wasn't ranked in the top 20, I don't think. So it's just nice to see the Rams push the ball down the field. I remember when Kurt Warner, Mark Bulger were Rams QBs, and Jared Goff at the beginning, those first 2017, 2018, even 2019, he was really pushing the ball down the field. But that's just the great thing about Matthew Stafford. And Matthew Stafford answered a lot of critics' questions with his performance today. Stafford's the man. I agree. Cup Pro Bowler. Totally agree. Kenny Young balled out. Totally agree. Cup 2K. I mean, that's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for Cup to get 2K only because, I mean, in this game, he didn't have a lot of yards. He had Well, yeah, he did. He had 96 yards. So, I mean, to get 2K, well, yeah, there's 17 games this year. That's still going to be tough. For me, I just think the Rams spread the ball around too much for any one player to have such a dominant season. I think maybe in the red zone, you could say, he'll have a lot of touchdowns, but in terms of 2K, that's going to be tough. I mean, hey, why not though? Let's go for it. Young missed a couple of tackles. Yeah, Jesus, I that's what I was looking at. He missed a couple of tackles. It's one of those, like, he was everywhere. I mean, he was super active. He was everywhere. But, you can't make every tackle, right? And that's the thing. I think we as Rams fans, we get so spoiled, or I think we're just not realistic. And what I mean by that is, like, the Rams are going to shut out every team, especially a team like Tampa Bay. They're not going to have 0 points. They're not going to have 0 receptions. Tom Brady is not going to have 0 completions. They're going to complete passes. Trevor Lawrence is out there completing passes. David Carr is out there completing passes. Right now it is 28-28 Vegas, Miami. 3 seconds left. Going for the field goal. I don't know who you guys like in this game. Probably kind of rooting for Miami. I think they're offsides. So yeah, Matt Gay, perfect against his old team. Matt Gay revenge tour again, comes up big against his former team. Is a 5th round pick by Tampa Bay. Also penalties. I mean, there were some wonky calls, and I think Tampa Bay just wasn't crisp. Like, Gronk dropped a few passes I thought he would catch. There were, like I said, a couple wonky plays, but also let's talk about Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald kind of has this monkey on his back against Tom Brady, right? The Super Bowl, when they played last year, might have been another time as well where, he just never got home on Tom Brady. And at the end of the first half, which was really, really big, is when there was that forward fumble. Because if that doesn't happen, Gio Bernard, he's going to scamper in, and, they're going to get a field goal. And so basically, Aaron Donald got around, beat his man off the edge, one-on-one, strip sack or fumble, and that pushed them back. That pushed them back to the 40-something yard line, 45-yard line, and then the field goal was wide right. So that missed field goal was because of Aaron Donald. The Rams going in, and I think that was really where it all shifted. If the Bucks come away with 3 points at the end of the half, there is a bit of momentum there for them, and it's, they're at that point they were down 17-7, I think, or 14-7. I can't remember, but that would have been huge. So Aaron Donald, that was the perfect time for Aaron Donald to show up. And it's good to see him, like I said, get that monkey off his back against Tom Brady and the Bucks, but primarily Tom Brady, and get home against him. And that was just really great to see. Didn't we sack Goat twice? No, we did. We sacked him. But we sacked Aaron Donald sacked him. And then I think Kenny Young was in there, or Leonard Floyd was in there and sacked him. Yeah. Terrell Lewis, that hit on Gronk. Boom. I mean, they look like the same size. Like, Terrell Lewis looks like he could be a tight end, but also Gronk is just really big. Like, he's just a big dude. Stafford looking like an early MVP. He really is. I mean, if he plays like this the whole rest of the season, it's his to lose, I feel. Because I think, the media also will love that. It's like a really good story. Rams barely had any penalties. Very well done in that respect. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. So the penalties were 7 penalties for 41 yards against Tampa Bay, and the Rams were 1 penalty for 4 yards. Now, for me, penalties are all about coaching. All about coaching. With the Jeff Fisher days and even before then, the Rams are always so heavily penalized. And to me, that was inexcusable, and that was a Jeff Fisher effect. But since McVay has come to town, the Rams are, it seems like they're always towards the league leaders in penalties. And what I mean by, I guess, that they have the fewest, is what I'm trying to say. And I remember when I was at the Kansas City Monday night game in 2018, and going into that game, I knew Kansas City was like the most penalized team in football. And that game, penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty. Now, Andy Reid is a good coach. I know Bruce Arians is a good coach, but that to me, the coaching is kind of where the penalties come from. And also, to be fair, I guess the Tampa Bay, in their secondary, what can you do, right? So, um, Sony Michel was amazing at protection today. He really was. He really was. And also, I liked how Kenny Young just blew up Gio Bernard on protection, on the other side. But yeah, I mean, that's Sony Michel. To me, Sony Michel is like a total pro. He played on a Super Bowl winning team. He played with the Patriots, and so he's a pro. He knows what to do. I was so happy when the Rams signed Sony Michel, just because he was such a forgotten guy, but good, and he was having his best camp. I actually went and paid attention to some of the New England beat writers, and they were saying that Sony Michel was looking as good as he had. It's one thing when you say, "Oh, he's in the best shape of his life," but after an injury-plagued season for Sony Michel, for them to say, "Oh, he looks explosive and dynamic like he did in his healthy days when he was," I mean, he almost rushed for 2,000 yards in 2 seasons, even though he was splitting a lot of snaps with those other running backs New England had. So, I mean, just this is why you get him, because otherwise in this game, it would have just been Jake Funk and I don't know, Devonta Freeman. You know what I mean? So Sony Michel is awesome, and I'm really glad that was a great signing by Les Snead. The holding, yeah, there was a lot of holding in this game. I think there were a lot of things called. It's interesting because I watched that Bucks game last week against the Falcons, and Mike Edwards, after he intercepted, had one of his pick six. He got called. They got called for taunting, but it was like really weak sauce taunting. But then you see Desean Jackson running in and doing his little taunting thing at the end. No penalties. I honestly think the NFL got the memo of, hey, let's dial back these taunting penalties. So last week was the last week of getting it. So now it's taunt city. I think our D needs a little bit of an improvement. We are playing really good, but I would love to see something like the D of last year with that offense. Wow. Marco Guizzetti. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Rams gave up 24 points in this game. They gave up 24 points against the Bucks last year. It's the same. I mean, the thing is like the end result is the same, but it looks different. And last week against the Colts, I felt like the Rams were getting home all the time. They were in the backfield all the time against Carson Wentz and the Colts, but they were giving up these chunk yards, and they're playing soft zone. I think the soft zone sometimes it's just like at the end there, Mike Evans is going out catching a 17-yard pass. Like, the difference, I guess, is the Rams receivers, they're catching the balls like in traffic or over the top. The Bucks receivers and all the receivers of, for the Colts and for the who the Rams play in the first week. I'm blanking on it, but they caught all of their they catch all their passes behind or in front of the defense, right? So the defense just, I mean, that's like I said before, Desean Jackson had a 75-yard pass like bomb. The Rams, no one's bombing it on the Rams. So Terrell Lewis surprised me. Yeah, it's good to see Terrell Lewis getting in there, rotating in there. Anderson says it's so awesome to see our offense unleashed again. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. It's just exciting. It's exciting to see the Rams unleashed again. Like, this is the 2018 Rams as far as I'm concerned, but without the dynamic running back like Todd Gurley. Matt Gates is a pedophile. Lewis is bad in pass coverage, though. Good hit, but still prefer to see him rushing. No, I agree. I also prefer to see his knee still attached to his body. So, yeah. And the Bucks offensive line is really good. So, Lewis, oh yeah, I already read that. S-Pack, poor AD getting double teamed. He just can't get a sack. He was getting double teamed at the beginning, but then towards the end of the game, I saw him getting some moves, but getting one-on-ones. But Brady would get the ball out quick. Brady's just he knows the score, and he's not going to hold on to the ball too long, right? So, it just skipped down on me. I think I'm way behind, so I'm going to do a little turbo round here. Oh yeah, wow, I am way behind. Masahori Young is still learning. Give him a break. Definitely is coming along. No, I agree. No, I like Kenny Young, and he's definitely improved this season compared to last season. And also, what makes me feel good about this, just in general, I shouldn't care what people say, but Nick Wright just bugs me whenever I see Nick Wright. And he's always predicting, because he's a Chiefs fan, and so he's just on cloud nine. And I have nothing against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are 1-2, and the Rams are 3-0. He trashes the Rams all the time, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So it's just great. I really want to see what kind of song some of the haters in the media are singing come tomorrow morning. Let's see here. I can't wait to see what excuses they'll have for Brady. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what our defense did to them, and I think it was just not letting them get over the top. I think not having Antonio Brown play, was a big factor, right? Because imagine if you have, so Gronk was the third receiver, but imagine if when you have AB and you have Godwin and Evans, then what are you doing with Gronk? So I think not having Antonio Brown actually was a big deal. And he was playing like old school Antonio Brown. The refs could have thrown the flag on the Bucks every damn down. Yeah, they could have. And I saw a lot of holding on AD. What's up, Payo time? Yeah, that was a big win. How you doing out there? General Potato. I think Cardinals will look like last year's strong start, then fall off. Yeah, especially if Kyler Murray is running all over the place, that if he hopefully, I don't want to see him get hit or injured. Same with Russell Wilson. I'm not a Russell Wilson fan, but I think those guys kind of wear down a bit. So because they're running so much. Donald finally got his first sack on Brady in his career. I know, Anderson. That's awesome. And that was as timely as it gets. Think Goff watched a game today. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think he probably did. Like whenever he got home from the game, and I mean, God, the Lions, heartbreaker with the Lions there. I root for the Lions, to be honest with you. And when a lot of people said, Matthew Stafford, the Lions are so terrible when he was there, and he never elevated them. And it's just like there is a difference between being on the Lions with like the worst defense, no running game every year. They're like, yeah, he had Megatron. It's like, yeah, cool. He had a receiver, but Matthew Stafford doesn't rush the passer. He doesn't guard receivers. He doesn't run the football. You can only do so much. If you put Pat Mahomes on those Lions teams, same exact rosters, you just swap Matthew Stafford and Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is not winning a Super Bowl. And coaching. Andy Reid is not Matt Patricia, right? And Matt Patricia is not Sean McVay. So it's just so the lack of context is really mind blowing. But let's see here. Yeah, Bucks. The refs gave Bucks first downs when they definitely didn't get them. There was one play where I'm like, did he really not? Did he really get there? But hey, what are you gonna do? Let's see here. Let's go Rams. What's up, James Hill? Dominating performance. I totally agree. That's what it was. It wasn't like, oh, this is just a really good back and forth, close, tight game. This was a game the Rams really just had in control from the beginning. Give McVay 10% of Walmart. Yeah, because of Kroenke. Animals with horns. We really held on the Bucks. Run game. Also, that was impressive. Yeah, and the Bucks have a good offensive line. They have like Fournette and Ronald Jones are not bad running backs. It's weird how they don't utilize them as much as I think that they should. But that's another thing. The like I said, I think it was 35 yards they held them to. Let's see here. Yeah, rushing yards, 35 yards on 13 attempts for a 2.7 yard per carry average. So the Rams have gone against Fournette. They've gone against Rojo, who barely played, but you know what I mean. Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, and David Montgomery, right? And so they've gone against some good running backs. Speaking of David Montgomery, how did Justin Fields do today? Oopsie. Rams were awesome, Willie Brown. I totally agree. What's up, Brian Smith? Liking our D much more. Time to get Garrett D snaps. Oh yeah, yeah, Garrett. I was like Miles Garrett? No, um, Chris Garrett. Yeah. But I think, with Chris Garrett, it's for like a lot of the young guys, it's more it just takes time. It takes time to get in the rotation, especially like Justin Hollins is looking good. Terrell Lewis is in there now. It's not, I don't think Chris Garrett is like markedly better than those guys, but you get these guys going for midway, half end of the season. Some guys that will get dinged and miss a few games, and that's what you really want. Let's see. William Blackson. Hey, speaking of Goff, each time we came back from halftime, Goff settled for punts, never scored on that series. Yeah, you know, um, yeah, I feel for Jared Goff, to be honest, but then I don't because he has over $100 million. So what are you gonna do? What's up, William Ramirez? Good to see you. Good to see you making it. Rams are awesome. They were. Seahawks lose. Yeah, that's a great thing. Seahawks lose to the Vikings. So now it's Rams, Cardinals, and Niners still. So the Seahawks are what? 1-2. So I mean, I mean, hey, I I think everything will sort itself out with Arizona. But wouldn't it be interesting if it were the 3 teams that made it from the West were Arizona, San Fran, and the Rams? Also, San Fran, I'm not a buyer on San Fran, to be honest with you. They haven't played anyone good, and we'll find out how they do today with no running backs healthy. But, this is the I don't wanna sound like, I don't wanna get too overconfident. It is only week 3. It is only week 3. I mean, we're like 1/6, a little less than 1/6 or one a little more than 1/6 of the way through the season, so a lot can happen. But I'm really, 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 really impressed with how the Rams are looking, and this is exactly best case scenario of Matthew Stafford on the Rams. This is best case. This is like in all of your wildest dreams and fantasies of what the Rams would look like with this roster and Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay calling the plays. This is it. We're seeing it. It is happening before our eyes. It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Man, I'm gonna dream about that tonight. We have Stafford, McVay, and a deep wide receiver group. This season is going to be so much fun. I can't agree more. I can't agree more. Nice team win. Who am I? DIY Ryan Panana. Yeah, it was a great team win. Special teams coverage when we needed coverage, they didn't melt down. Punting was good. I mean, we didn't, Tutu returned one for a couple of yards, but like you just played tight. You didn't turn the ball over. No turn. I mean, it was clean. No turnovers. Stopping the run. Getting. I mean, we didn't run wild, but we did establish somewhat of a run, especially with a few at the end there. Passing. I mean, come on, what are you going to do? Overall defense, applying pressure, playing sound. It was a great team win all the way around. And seeing Sean McVay pumped going into halftime was great. I said on Twitter, basically, you can just you could plug him into the grid in LA and he could power Los Angeles with how amped he was. Let's see, Stafford breathed a lot more life into the team. He totally did. Radioactive man. Thanks for that. He did breathe life into the team. I think that's just the thing now. It's you feel confident knowing that Matthew Stafford's there. Like I just do. I feel even with Goff when he would throw it, he threw a good ball. And so I always felt like, okay, he's got arm, but I mean, Matthew Stafford can zip it. He can really just zip it. Undefeated, baby. Let's go, James Hill. I agree. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, my dad is in here. Hey, how you doing, Dad? Sorry I didn't call you guys tonight. It was a little hectic. It is about 2 o'clock in the morning. I have to get up for work in about 4.5 hours. But good to see you, Dad. I hope you're doing well. Um, great show, bro. Super game win. Mom says hi. Hey, Mom. I don't know if you guys are watching, but I appreciate it. My dad is the one who got me into the Rams. Took me to games when I was a kid at the Big A. So, Don Loomis, all the shout outs to you and Mom. I love you guys. Bill says, hello, Trent. Good night. Good night to be a Rams fan. It's a good night. It's always a good night to be a Rams fan, unless you were alive in the 90s and a Rams fan in the 90s, and then between like 2006 and 2017. So, yes. Uh, KZ Jabril, I'm so happy that Goff is gone. I mean, hey, let's not kick him while he's down. Matt interview right now. Okay, I won't blame you if you go watch it. Kenny Young still had a great game. Payo Time loves some Kenny Young. Xander Torres, you feeling Ramsey's mariachi suit? It was fire. Oh man, that's great. And then I'm stoked that he really loves mariachi music. So I mean, Jalen Ramsey is just a great football player, and he was awesome tonight. Like he's just, with Ramsey out there, like he's got it. He's in control of the back end, and AD's in control of the front end. Sebastian Joseph Day looked good. I think Ashawn Robinson was like second on the team in goals. I'm going to confirm that for you guys right now. Let's see here. Rams defense. Jalen Ramsey. Okay, so that final drive really, I looked that up during the final drive. So Kenny Young had 10 total tackles with a sack and 3 tackles for a loss. So yeah, that was Kenny Young just making it happen there. Jalen Ramsey, 8 total tackles. Darius Williams, 6. Ashawn Robinson, 6. But I mean, Ashawn played really well. Yeah. Hey, you got it. Matt Gates is a pedophile. I'm just going to call you Gates. Okay. I'm not going to read the whole thing every time, but yeah, of course. So LFG, let's effing go. I think that's what that means. Andrew Junker. Bryant Rionda. It was rare you see Tom Brady that frustrated. It was all over his face. Yeah, like at the beginning of the game, he was very stoic, but then once he realized like it was not happening, then you could see it, and it's beautiful. That's just another beautiful thing is seeing Tom Brady frustrated. I love it, and I respect him because we're about the same age, and so he just makes me feel like doing anything is possible, but through football, I just can't stand Tom Brady. Cruz Corral. Kenny Young looked impressive. Big step up for him, although he missed a couple of tackles, but shows his development. Totally agree. Great. I mean, really awesome for a guy who was thrown basically when we traded Marcus Peters. We got a 5th round pick and Kenny Young, and the 5th round pick was David Edwards. So David Edwards and Kenny Young, 2 starters who are playing quite well for us for Marcus Peters. Just another great move by Les Snead. Once again, offensive line. I mean, Rob Havenstein had that kind of that whiff at the end of the game on William Golston, but overall the offensive line was just awesome. I mean, I didn't expect them to get a lot of push in the running game, and they did all right. At the end of the game, they were wearing the Bucs defense down, even though both teams were on the field. I want to say for close to the same amount of time. I think that last Bucs drive kind of skewed it. Yeah, but basically, yeah, time of possession, the Bucs had it for 29 minutes, 50 seconds. The Rams for 30 minutes, 10 seconds. So, just awesome. Awesome. I'm still trying to process it all. Crazy Legs, Cooper Kupp, Willie Bowen. Yeah, I mean, he's the guy. I mean, Cooper Kupp could go down as the best Rams wide receiver of all time. He could be better than Torrey Holt, Crazy Legs Hirsch, Henry Ellard, Isaac Bruce, Flipper Anderson, Brian Quick, Nelson Spruce, the greats, Tavon Austin, Chris Givens. I'm not, that's it. That's all I got there. What a great victory. Go Rams. What's up, Chris H? I totally agree. Takumi Saito, Matt Gay is just automatic. He is. I mean, and it's awesome. I mean, what if Matt Gay is like our kicker for the next 10 years? Or like, let's just even go 5 years, right? I love it. I feel so good with Matt Gay. Let's see. Let's build together with Gio Capistrano, Rams house. Yeah, like I said, if you're watching this on the replay, let me know. And you were at the game, let me know what the vibe was like there. A buddy of mine said, who's a Bucs fan who lives in LA, wanted to go to the game. And shout out to Kevin Falsey. But standing room only tickets were like $140. And I mean, come on, that's a bit ridiculous, but everyone wanted to go there. Ballsy move getting Matt Stafford. Totally. But I mean, like, I guess this is the thing. I always defer to the football people to make sound football decisions, especially for the Rams. They've done a great job. Les Snead, Kevin Demoff, Sean McVay, everyone involved. And, like they didn't freak out about the offensive line coming into the season because they knew the guys that they had, right? And then they made such a bold move to get Matthew Stafford, and everyone was, oh, they're eating the money, they're trading the picks to get a guy who's never won anything. And it's like, but they knew that Matthew Stafford is the missing piece. It's all about winning a Super Bowl. It's not about just making the playoffs and winning a game. It's about winning the Super Bowl, right? It would be a travesty for the Rams not to win a Super Bowl with AD, Jalen Ramsey in their primes. Like, you got to make it happen. James Hill, great way to end your birthday weekend. Rams beat the champs. Well, happy birthday, James Hill. There you go. I hope you got some Rams swag for your birthday. But yeah, good times. Hope you had a good birthday. As Pat, good to see 30 plus point games again. I mean, yeah, like easy 34 points. Easy. I felt like they left a lot of points on the field. And when Sean McVay was going to go for it on like 4th and goal or 4th and 1 there at the end of the game, and then he called a timeout to kick a field goal, which I think was 100% the right decision, because just make it 3 scores, just win the game. I think he just wanted, he was like, he had like touchdown, what do they call it? Fever, touchdown fever. Like, God, let's just go. But, make it a 3-score game. Just win the game. That's all it is. Just win, baby. A lot of holding calls they didn't call on Donald. I mean, but that happens every game. I mean, I noticed it, but I mean, that happens every game. Like last week, Quentin Nelson, definitely, because he knows they hold they hold AD every time. I mean, that's a thing. He gets held all the time. 99 best edge rusher. It is cool to see Aaron Donald rush off the edge, and he's just all over the place. And that's what's great about the defense, is that they're super flexible. In the words of Vince Lombardi, grab. That's what they were doing with Aaron Donald. Deshaun said in press conference that they knew he had to keep scoring, stay up, or our boys did it. Great win, yeah. And with a secondary like the Bucs had, I mean, you just got to go for it every time. Like, and it's great. No empties. I still kind of have a little PSD after that Miami Dolphins game last year, where all those empty backfields and Goff was just getting blown up, and interceptions and fumbles and TD returns. But they go empty all the time, spreading out 5. And it's like Matt Stafford knows exactly what to do. He knows exactly what to do. That's a thing. I just feel like I'm in this cozy, snug Matthew Stafford blanket all the time. Josh, what's up, Josh? Good to see you. We're the best team in the league, period. I agree. At this point, we are the best team in the league. Few penalties, no turnovers. That's how you win comfortably instead of a nail biter. Totally agree. Clean game. 40-0 when leading at the half. That's what Brandon. Okay. Thank you, Brandon. I know that someone was mentioning that earlier in the thread, but yeah, 40-0 when leading at the half. That's insane. That is insane. Tough one next week, but a must win, to be honest. Yeah. But I don't want to take any team for granted, but I just never, the Cardinals just don't really put the fear in my heart. I mean, but the running QB to me is always the wild card. That is it. So I wonder how is their offensive line? So I think that's going to be the key. And also, can their secondary stop our receivers? Was Jenk funky enough? At the beginning of the game, he was. Michael Turns, Sony is great, but can we get Saquon after getting Stafford? I feel like anything is possible. Now, I don't want Saquon. Honestly, we got Cam Akers coming back next year. So let's just keep it with Daryl. Let's just get Daryl Henderson back, and him and Sony Michel's a 1-2 punch is pretty sweet. Why didn't it sound loud with the full house? I think it was. I think it just wasn't pumped up for TV. Hey, what's up, a Green Substance? Yeah, it was a great game. Anthony, the Ram fan, we are the number 1 team in the NFL. I believe it. Mike Jackson, what's up, Trent? It's been a while. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Mike Jackson, been with me since the start of Rams Talk when I was shooting videos in my car back in 2018. So good to see you, Mike Jackson. I hope all is well. I don't know why I call you Mike Jackson instead of just Mike. William Fajardo, love the cozy Stafford blanket. I know. In fact, I'm going to be wrapping this up in a few minutes. I'm going to go curl up in one because it is 2:18 a.m. for me. Let's go Packers. Why would I root for no 49ers? Yeah, it's Packers. I'm going all Packers right now. Akers, John Damon Walls. Yeah, Cam Akers. I miss him. I was there and it was electrifying. Neil Gonzalez in the house. What's up, Neil? Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was, man. I'm so envious of everyone that gets to go watch a game. Good to hear for y'all who were there. Yeah, like I said, if you're watching this on replay and you stayed to minute 45, drop a comment. Let me know how the game was, or if you weren't at the game, anything. Just let me know how you're feeling. DJ Mountain Biker or DH Mountain Biker. Hey, thank you. It's good to see you too. Or see you in the chat. That's what I mean. Taylor Rapp. Yeah, Taylor. So here's the thing. Taylor Rapp, he's not a burner. He's a guy who takes really good angles to the ball. Although there was one play where I think it was a screen play and he took a bad angle and missed. Every player is going to have a couple plays in the game where they're not in position or they don't wrap up or whatever. So you can nitpick on everybody except for pretty much Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. But yeah, I mean, Taylor Rapp's had a good season thus far. Justin Fields, welcome to the NFL. Exactly. There's a reason why Andy Dalton was starting. Cowboys exposed the Bucs. Yep. Through the air. And unless they get help in the secondary, it's going to be a lot more of the same. Floyd is your hero, i.e. Yeah, Floyd had a good game too. Rapp got a tough job. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The Bucs have a lot of weapons, speedy weapons. Taylor Rapp is not a guy who's going to go, step for step. So he's more of a, like in the box, he's good at decision making, taking the right angles and tackling. But, he's not running step for step as we saw his rookie year against San Francisco. I can't root for Aaron Rodgers. He is such a drama queen. Their Wolfpack. Oh yeah, I actually have a personal story I can't really tell about Aaron Rodgers that he is very much a drama queen. I will tell you that. But that being said, I will root for any team, any player, Tom Brady, it doesn't matter to me, over the San Francisco 49ers. I hate them. I hope they lose every game. I hope they go 0-16 for the rest of time. Book it. But Rapp did save a touchdown. Yes, Xavier Brown, thank you. He did. Rapp had a decent game. I mean, that's the thing is, you can find any game and look at almost any player on any team and say, oh, like look at Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, first, 7 throws? Not good. So, Mike Jackson knows what time it is with the 49ers, 100%. The Terrell Lewis, what's up, Joshua? The Terrell Lewis tackle was nasty. It definitely was. I mean, I thought Gronk broke some ribs. I mean, good to see Gronk back in the game. Play the 49ers with the passing game. See, that was the thing last year when the Rams played the 49ers. Granted, they had Jason Verrett, who was having a really good season last year. They just they knew, the 49ers knew that the Rams weren't throwing the ball over like 7 yards at all. So they just bunched it up there, and that's why. I mean, they did throw kind of a bomb to Josh Reynolds, but hate the whiners with a passion. Elo forever. I mean, Rams fans know. I mean, like, I dislike the Seahawks, but not as much as the 49ers, and it will never be more than the 49ers. Totally agree. Hate the whiners. Yep. The Chiefs defense is getting soft. Yep. I hate Seattle worst in our division. Let Russell cook. Arg. Well, they're 1-2, so I wouldn't even say he's simmering. He's just, you know what? He's not cooking. He's food that was like just left out on the counter, not even covered overnight. And then you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh man, I got to throw that away now. That's Russell Wilson. Let's go Rams. Yep. The Savior Gaming Channel. Let's go Rams. James Hill, go Rams with a Z. The Wolfpack Seahawks can't hold our jocks, nor do I want them to. They couldn't last year. And also, Jamal Adams. It's really tough. It's really tough to see Jamal Adams hurting. I don't know if he was injured, but just like, emotionally. Are the Rams number one in the power rankings now? I mean, they have to be. They beat the Bucks. Like no other team, undefeated team, like the Cardinals won. I think did the Broncos win? Trying to look at the scores, but yeah, they have to be. Carolina hasn't played anyone good. Let's see here. In Northern California, all I see is 49er flags just because they all wear red jerseys. Yep. Yeah, it's Mike Jackson's behind enemy lines. Any Rams fans in Northern California, my heart goes out to you. Elo forever. Sea Hags need to go back to the AFC West where they belong. I mean, I kind of like the rivalry having them in the NFC West. Let's see here. Rams rule. Hit that like button. Payo Time says. I appreciate that, Payo Time. And then, guys, if you're also looking for some content, hey, Payo Time, you going to be creating anything anytime soon? I'm sure a game recap, but Payo Time, Rams Showcase, Rams House TV, Jake Ellenbogen, all those guys, all those channels, go visit them. They're going to be pumping out stuff tonight, tomorrow. So any more Rams content, go check them out. They're good dudes, and they got good stuff. So I'm going to actually retire now because, like I said, I have to wake up in about 4 hours for work and actually take the kids to school and then go to work. And I'm going to be a zombie. So I have the coffee ready to go. But anyways, guys, keys from this game, Matthew Stafford is exactly why this is exactly why we got Matthew Stafford. Everyone who was freaking out about our offensive line and who was going to play center can take a deep breath. Our defense is legit. I know everyone in the first two games didn't really like our defense because the bend don't break kind of thing in the soft zone, but it's at the end of the day, it's points. We're not giving up a lot of points. Kenny Young showed up, AD showed up, Matt Gay showed up, Kupp showed up, Desean Jackson is on this team officially. I mean, that's great. We got Desean Jackson. He looked like old school Desean Jackson, just holding the ball on his hand and running. Just good stuff. But yeah, Cooper Kupp could be all-time Rams legend. So anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I want you to have an amazing rest of your Sunday. I'm sure you will whenever the Rams win. Just sets the whole, just caps the weekend. I hope the Dodgers win. Hope the Giants lose. And a shout out to the U.S. Men's Ryder Cup team taking down Europe in golf. And yeah, so bring on the Cardinals. And as always, guys, go Rams. Oh, and thanks, Dad, for watching.